Welcome to projectmanagerhelper.com. This example is going to be about forecasting. I'm going to show you how to forecast using our app in Project Manager Helper, as well as how to do it in Excel. So to start with, you need periods. So in this case, we have 12 periods that could be days, weeks, months, years, and we have number of patients that arrived in the ER on that period. So let's say it is a weekly observation. So first, I'm going to show you how to do it really easy in projectmanagerhelper.com. All you're going to do is copy the values in Excel and then go over to projectmanagerhelper.com. Scroll down to the forecasting lab. Open it up and paste the values from Excel. Now, you have a variety of different methods for forecasting that you can select. Many of these you can do in Excel as well. So we're going to use Holt's Winter Seasonal for this example. Run forecast. Let's say you want to predict 6 weeks into the future. So you can decide on staffing levels, how many doctors and nurses staff based on the amount of patients you're expected to receive. Once you run forecast, you see here is the chart, as well as the table for Excel if you want to paste it in Excel and generate your own chart, as well as it gives you additional information on the seasonal length for seasonality. It also measures the trend and it generates the values and the error metrics here as well for your reference. So as you can see, this is the data that we inputted from Excel. It has a little bit of seasonality. You can see the up and down movement there, and in the forecast that is predicted as well. And it gives you the 95 percentile for what you could expect. So here for week 17, I wouldn't expect to receive more than 110 patients or less than about 97. So you can use that for forecasting. You can select any of the other different methods here, including linear regression. As you can see, it has a little bit of an uptrend in the data that is captured very nicely here in the linear regression model. Now, how can you do that in Excel? First, we're going to do is fill in the period for the amount you want to forecast. So we said we wanted to forecast an additional 6 weeks. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks into the future. Next, go and create a forecast column. You're going to skip the first two because there's not enough data to generate a prediction. Next, you're going to hit the equal sign and select FORECAST.ETS. You can double click that. It's a little bit different model than the one we used in Project Manager Helper, but this is the best Excel can provide. Target date. So for this one, just select the date that you want to forecast. So it will be the same one where the cell is the cell you're using for the forecast formula. Comma, values. So for values, just select observe the actual patient numbers for the prior weeks to the one that you're working with, comma, the timeline that already happened. So in this case, we're forecasting week 3, pretending that we don't know what actually happened. And then we're going to drag it down to forecast the rest up until weeks 13 through 18, which is what we really want. Now for seasonality, Excel can automatically detect that if you have enough data. If you put 1 here, it will try to detect it automatically. Next, data completion. If you're missing values, you can treat them as zeros or complete them automatically by pressing 1. In this case, we're not missing any values, but we'll press 1. It won't affect anything. And then aggregation, same thing, just put 1, and that should be what we're looking for. Close parentheses, enter. This is the prediction for this date. The actual was 95. Now, if you drag this down, it would actually not be very accurate, because what it does is it drags the cells down with you. as you can see here. Now, how you can prevent it from doing that, which is not what we want to freeze the first values here in alpha 2 and bravo 2. So we select the first formula, we input it, and all it takes is putting $signs to freeze those. So freeze B2 and freeze A2. Now when you press enter, instead of dragging down those values in the formula, it would freeze the top and it will continue expanding down, as you can see here. Let's go ahead and format the cells to remove some of those decimal. We'll just keep 1 decimal, whatever half a patient means, but looks a little bit cleaner. There you have your forecast, and if you click on the formula, you can see that it keeps dragging down to produce a as accurate as it can prediction. Now you want to show it in a chart to see what that looks like. So insert, let's do a line chart. We'll change the minimum on the y-axis here so you can see the chart a little bit better. Looks like 80 is the bottom one. There you go. So this is our Excel forecasting. You can see these are the forecasted values displayed here. We can select a better graph. I think that's a little bit cleaner. We'll just give it a name. Now, as you can see, Excel failed to capture the seasonality of our trend here. The reason is because there's likely not enough observations for Excel to be able to capture that. It's not as robust as the Project Manager Helper software. So what we're going to do is go back and see what the seasonality is. It should auto detect it. Season length is 6. So all we're going to do is we're going to manually input it. So remember earlier on the formula for seasonality, when we enter 1, so Excel can detect it automatically. Instead, we'll enter a 6. And then we'll drag down. Now, as you can see, it actually looks like the trend we're looking for. That is mostly predictive of the data that we have. It shows that up and down swing every down 3, up 3. Next, if you want to calculate error metrics, first you have to find the error. So that is just the actual observation minus the forecast. You want to drag that down for as long as you have values. Next, you want to compute the absolute error. So that is equals ABS for absolute, and just select the previous error column and enter and drag that down. It's just going to get rid of the negative numbers. Now we can use that to determine the mean absolute error, or MAE, which is going to be the mean of the absolute error. Call it average of the absolute error. 7.4. It's a metric of how good your model is, how good your prediction is. Next, we want to find, if you want to find the mean square error, or MSE, you can find the square error, which is the square absolute error should be, which is the absolute error to the power of 2. Drag that down. And then just take the average of that. So we have we will copy that into here. Just just as a number, just to keep it clean. So you have the MAE and the MSC, and you can calculate that in Excel, or you can use projectmanagerhelper.com to automatically compute all those numbers for you. Now the models are different from the FORECAST.ETS that we just did in Excel, so they will look a little bit different. And you can run through different models here and see how they compare to the one in Excel. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave in the comments. Subscribe for more videos on how to use projectmanagerhelper.com, as well as to ask any questions about any of our tools.